Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Big things. We've been on air for 20 years. We've shared so much of our lives, so much stuff, and something amazing happened to you just in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I got a bunch of carpet off in the house.
Come on.
It was good. I did a bit of painting when I said I wasn't
Be
going
a softie.
My daughter got engaged.
Brilliant.
I
Romany
became
and
a
Michael.
grandfather.
And yes, Morgan and Zoe had a baby boy.
Oh, how good is that?
And well, how do you feel? You as a grandfather, you know, the image we have of grandfathers, you know, it's on popular culture is an old bloke smoking a pipe in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
You're not that. And I'm sure most grandfathers these days aren't. But how do you feel being a granddad?
It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
And I saw a fabulous photo that you sent of Helen holding the baby, and you said it reminds you of when all those years ago when she was holding Morgan in her arms. It must be an extraordinary thing.
It's uncanny how much the little guy looks like Morgs. It's uncanny.
Really?
Yeah.
And probably looks like you as a baby. That's genetics at work.
But he said to him, Mum, you're holding him a bit too tight. I said, mate, I've done this before.
Every grandparent has this same discussion where the new parents are allowed to say, oh, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
And every parent, I've been here before. So it begins.
As I'm smoking a pipe over the kid, drinking a beer.
It's wonderful news and great news that Romany, your daughter, and Michael got engaged.
That's a
big family thing.
The potential son-in-law has moved up a notch.
I know, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was all happening.
It was all happening. A big couple of weeks for your family. Congratulations all round.
Thank you. And now look at us. Here we are doing this.
Here we are doing this. And they were little babbies when we first started.
That's true, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is true.
And yet we've aged backwards like Benjamin Button. I'm in a nappy. I'm hoping that's because I'm young.
I had an engagement in my family. Little baby came into the world. I'm now a grandpa. Enough about my holidays. What did you do?
For one of the weeks of the holidays, I went with my sons Liam and Jack to Tokyo. And I've been travelling to Japan for over 30 years. I used to go with Beyond 2000, and it's one of my favourite places in the world. And the boys have been there before, but to go with them as adults now, I saw such a different side to Tokyo. It was actually, I was in tears before I left, actually. The morning we went, I bought a new suitcase. And I thought the man in the shop had shown me how to lock it. And I've never in my whole life locked a suitcase. So I thought I'd better lock it. And then half an hour before I was about to leave the house, early in the morning, I couldn't unlock it. All my things were in there and I couldn't unlock it. And I was so fraught, I started to cry, as you can imagine, because I thought, what do I do? Do I send my bag to Tokyo, buy a Stanley knife and slice it open? But they're built so sturdily these days, would that even work? And Harley was saying, look, they're not going to let you fly with a suitcase that can't be opened. Someone at the airport would be able to help you. And it's a Samsonite. And I was trying to phone the 24-hour helpline. And it's a TSA lock on it that only an airport can unlock. Well, that's what I read. The 24-hour helpline didn't quite exist. And it was so early in the morning that no one could help me. Finally, on the way to the airport, I got hold of the Samsonite shop at the airport. You know, when you see those suitcase shops, you think, who goes in here when you're about to fly?
Yeah, right.
That was me.
It's you.
It was me. And a lovely man, I think his name was Brian. He was so helpful. I said, I can't unlock my suitcase. And he got a little implement. And he said, have you put the code in 001? I said, no, why would I do that? And he said, that's exactly what you've put in here. And I must have just, thinking I hadn't set the code yet, moved it because it's always 000 when you first get it. Something had happened. So that was before I even left. I had that tension.
That's why you should have a duffel bag.
Oh, that's why I should have a lot of things. That's why I should drink more gin and tonics. But gee, I had a great time. And everything, I love everything about Japan, and I have for years and years. And with the kids, as I said, we went bar hopping. We went to one small little bar, just us. It was an anime bar. It's just us. Actually, there was an English guy in the corner who was unusual, and the barman who doesn't give a rat's whether you're there or not. And there was a snake in a jar of alcohol, and we drank shots from that.
Oh.
And that was early in the evening. And the next day when I saw
it was early in the evening.
the next day,
isn't that the end of the evening?
Wouldn't you think?
What are you on, schoolies?
Wouldn't you think? And I've become obsessed with the bidet. I've never really been into the bidet before. The toilet in the hotel, and Liam and I were discussing this. He and Jack had a separate room. But when you walked towards it, it opened up and you'd sit down and the seat was warm, and then the bidet would kick in and you had to remind yourself you had to turn it off because you just could sit there for hours.
Right.
And when and then it would flush the minute you stood up.
Yeah.
So I've come home and I just walk away from the toilet expecting it to be flushed. But Liam put me off because he said it freaked him out a little bit. It was like a greedy toilet, like hungry, hungry hippo or Cookie Monster, when just to consume things.
Well, you know.
But another great bar we went.
Sounds like an OnlyFans star.
But, you know, I would have gone to the end of the street just to hang out with the kids. I would, meaning if they wanted to hang out with me, I would have. I don't care where we are, but it was so great to spend that time with them as big grown men. And they're so big with big heads of curly hair. They stood a head above everybody so I could find them anywhere. It was just brilliant.
And they loved it because they're on your dime.
Of course. Mum was opening the wallet and the toilet.
Who wants some snake drinks, everyone? You? Weirdo English guy in the corner.
So good.